a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon Levesque, also known professionally as Stephanie McMahon, is an American businesswoman and Chief Brand Officer of WWE. She is currently the on-screen commissioner of WWE Brand Raw, a fourth-generation wrestling promoter as a member of the McMahon family. She has worked for WWE since she was a teenager, working her way up to receptionist, then in various front office jobs up to, and including her current CBO position. She is the great-granddaughter of Roderick, Jess, McMahon, granddaughter of Vincent J. McMahon, daughter of WWE Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon and retired WWE CEO/current Administrator of the Small Business Administration Linda McMahon, the younger sister of WWE part owner/wrestler Shane McMahon, and wife of WWE executive/wrestler Paul Triple H Levesque. McMahon began appearing regularly on air for WWE in 1999 as a part of a storyline with The Undertaker. After a brief on-screen relationship with Test, she was engaged to Triple H, whom she married both on-screen and later in real life, which resulted in the McMahon-Helmsley faction storyline. She has held the WWF Women's Championship once. In 2001, she was the on-screen owner of Extreme Championship Wrestling during the Invasion. The following year, she was the SmackDown general manager, but stopped appearing regularly on television after an I Quit match with her father Vince. After only making sporadic appearances for several years, McMahon began appearing regularly on Raw in 2008 as the Raw brand general manager before disappearing once again. By mid-2013, McMahon returned to regular on-air appearances in the WWE, this time under the gimmick of an unctuous, judgmental, bullying owner along with on-screen Chief Operating Officer, her husband, Triple H. From 2013 to 2016, they acted as a power couple known as The Authority, making what were often shady decrees while claiming only to be concerned for what's best for business, all the while romanticizing each other in the process with public displays of affection. The Authority would later expand into a stable, with its co-leaders being Triple H and herself. Early life. Stephanie Marie McMahon was born on September 24, 1976 in Hartford, Connecticut to Linda and Vince McMahon. She has one brother, Shane McMahon. Soon after her birth, the family moved to Greenwich, Connecticut. There, she attended the selective Greenwich Country Day School throughout her elementary school years. At the age of 13, McMahon appeared in World Wrestling Federation merchandise catalogs, modeling t-shirts and hats. After graduating from Greenwich High School in 1994, she attended Boston University and in 1998 earned a degree in communications. After graduating in 1998, she began working for the WWF full-time. Business career. McMahon entered WWF as a model and bodybuilder for WWF sales and merchandise, but started her WWF career as an account executive for the WWF sales office in New York. In her early years with the company, she did reception work, creative design, television production, and acted as a ring performer. After spending time as the director of creative writing, a job she had by 2002, she was promoted to Senior Vice President of Creative Writing in 2006. Executive Vice President. McMahon was promoted to Executive Vice President of Creative in 2007. She was responsible for overseeing the creative process for all television and pay-per-view programming. She oversaw all aspects of talent management and branding as well as live event booking and marketing, as well as all social and digital media properties. As Executive Vice President of Creative, McMahon was able to spearhead the upbringing of the WWE app, which has been downloaded over 20 million times. She was also able to launch a huge partnership with the USA Metropolitan Washington, the social media company Doubt, and was able to partner with Yahoo to bring WWE content. Stephanie also led WWE's Creative Coalition for their anti-bullying campaigns. In addition to her duties, McMahon was responsible for the day-to-day operations for WWE.com. Chief Brand Officer. On December 4, 2013, WWE announced the promotion of Stephanie to Chief Brand Officer, where she will now lead efforts to further enhance WWE's brand reputation among key constituents including advertisers, media, business partners, and investors. McMahon will also serve as the lead ambassador of WWE and work with business units to support key growth initiatives. Stephanie will also lead WWE's targeted youth and moms marketing programs. McMahon's new position enabled her to spearhead the continued partnership with General Mills Totino's brand. On February 5, 2014, Stephanie McMahon along with CMO and CRO Michelle Wilson announced a partnership between WWE and Kaboom to build a playground for WWE's annual WrestleMania week in Louisiana. McMahon earned a combined salary of over $775,000 between her corporate role and as an on-screen talent in 2013. She also owns over $77 million in WWE stock. On April 15, 2014, during WWE's annual Business Partners Summit, Stephanie confirmed a new WWE logo that would debut the night after WWE SummerSlam, although it's already showing up on WWE products like the WWE Network and NXT. On August 5, at the Needham Fireside Conference, Stephanie alongside with her husband Triple H, and WWE Chief Strategy and Financial Officer George Barrios, discussed the creative side of WWE, the WWE Network, and the difference between WWE and UFC. Job titles: responsible for the creative design, plans, and initiatives for WWE television, responsible for overseeing the creative writing process, development, and management of WWE creative team, responsible for the creative development for all of WWE television including live and televised events and pay-per-views, as well as event bookings. Stephanie also served as a backstage producer/director, responsible for leading WWE's efforts and brand reputation among key constituencies including investors, media, business partners, and advertisers, as well as marketing mom and kids initiatives. McMahon-Helmsley Era, 1999-2001. In early 1999, at the suggestion of WWF writer Vince Russo, McMahon debuted as the sweet daughter of Vince McMahon. During an on-screen storyline involving Vince and The Undertaker, The Undertaker stalked and abducted McMahon. At the end of the April Backlash pay-per-view, which culminated in him almost marrying her in the middle of the ring the next night on Raw, before being rescued by Stone Cold Steve Austin. McMahon then began an on-screen relationship with wrestler Test, which led to a rivalry between him and her older brother Shane. After Test defeated Shane at SummerSlam in a Love Her or Leave Her match, McMahon and Test went on to team together in a match on September 20, 1999, with the couple defeating Jeff Jarrett and Deborah. The couple were eventually engaged, but during the in-ring ceremony, Triple H showed a video which revealed that he had drugged McMahon and taken her to Las Vegas, Nevada, where they were married in a drive-thru ceremony. McMahon seemed to abhor Triple H at first, but at the inaugural Armageddon event, after Triple H defeated her father in a no-holds-barred match, left with him after embracing, McMahon confronted Vince the next night on Raw and revealed the wedding was a planned event, which was a revenge plot against her father for the aforementioned kidnappings, thus turning her into a villain. In late 1999, with Vince McMahon absent as a result of injuries inflicted upon him by Triple H at the Armageddon pay-per-view, Triple H and McMahon became the on-screen owners of the WWF, a period known as the McMahon-Helmsley Era, and dominated by the McMahon-Helmsley faction. Triple H held the WWF Championship and McMahon held the WWF Women's Championship after defeating champion Jacqueline with the help of Tori and D-Generation X on the March 28 edition of SmackDown. On the June 6 edition of SmackDown, McMahon successfully defended her title against Lita, and on the June 16 edition of SmackDown, Stephanie reconciled with her father and brother at WrestleMania 2000 when they helped Triple H defend his title against The Rock, leaving Linda McMahon as the only fan favorite in the McMahon family. In mid-2000, a love triangle storyline began featuring McMahon, Triple H and Kurt Angle. The storyline continued at Unforgiven when Triple H defeated Angle with a pedigree following a low blow from McMahon, proving her loyalty to him. McMahon later became Angle's manager and was in his corner when he defeated The Rock for the WWF Championship at No Mercy. The alliance was short-lived, however, as after The Rock performed his rock-bottom maneuver on McMahon at No Mercy, Triple H attacked Angle, considering it his fault that McMahon was hurt due to her managing Angle at the time. On the August 21, 2000 episode of Raw, McMahon lost the WWF's Women's Championship to Lita despite the interferences from Angle and Triple H after special referee, The Rock, performed a spinebuster on McMahon. The internal disputes between the McMahons led to Linda McMahon being in a comatose and wheelchair-bound state due to the stress of being asked for a divorce by Vince, who took the opportunity to have a public affair with Trish Stratus. McMahon briefly feuded with Stratus, defeating her at No Way Out. Over the next few weeks, Vince made it clear that he favored McMahon over Stratus, allowing McMahon to bully and verbally abuse Stratus. At WrestleMania X7, Shane McMahon defeated Vince in a street fight. During the match, Stratus slapped Vince and chased Stephanie from ringside, apparently upset with Vince's constant misogynistic treatment of her. The invasion and divorce from Triple H, 2001-2002. McMahon later revealed that she had purchased Extreme Championship Wrestling and intended to bankrupt the WWF, along with her brother Shane, who had become the on-screen owner of World Championship Wrestling, and the two rosters merged to form a supergroup known as the Alliance. Her team, the Alliance, consisting of her brother Shane, former WCW champion Booker T. Rob Van Dam, Kurt Angle and Steve Austin, were defeated by Team WWF consisting of The Undertaker, Kane, Big Show, Chris Jericho and The Rock at Survivor Series in a 5-on-5, winner-takes-all elimination match. The night after the Alliance was defeated, Shane and McMahon were banished from WWF television. McMahon returned in January 2002 when Triple H made a comeback as a fan favorite, but the good couple began having problems, as McMahon began acting like a nagging and clingy wife. As part of the storyline, the couple divorced after McMahon claimed to be pregnant in order to trick Triple H into renewing their marital vows. Triple H later discovered that she was lying though and left her at the altar during the renewal ceremony. As a result, after Triple H won the Royal Rumble, McMahon appointed herself as the special guest referee in a match between Kurt Angle and Triple H at No Way Out, with Triple H's WrestleMania Undisputed WWF Championship shot on the line. Though Angle won thanks to McMahon's biased officiating, Triple H defeated him the next night to regain his title shot. McMahon then aligned herself with former enemy, Chris Jericho. Despite interference by McMahon, Jericho lost to Triple H at WrestleMania X8 on March 17. On the March 25 episode of Raw, Jericho and McMahon lost to Triple H in a triple threat match for the Undisputed Championship, with the stipulation that, if McMahon was pinned, she would be forced to leave the WWF. In the match, Triple H pinned McMahon. SmackDown General Manager, 2002-2003. On July 18, 2002, McMahon returned to the WWE as the general manager of SmackDown. In contrast to her McMahon-Helmsley Era villain character, Stephanie became a fan favorite, as she began to favor fan favorite wrestlers at that time. She feuded with Raw general manager Eric Bischoff on the October 31 episode of SmackDown. At a Halloween party, McMahon and Bischoff shared a kiss while McMahon was dressed as a witch, and Bischoff was disguised as her father underneath a mask. McMahon was given credit for the return of the WWE United States Championship and for the creation of the WWE Tag Team Championship. She was also credited with signing Hulk Hogan back to SmackDown, which caused friction between herself and her father. In the summer of 2003, Vince McMahon began to resent Stephanie's attempts to stop him from pursuing an affair with Sable. The feud culminated in the controversial first-ever father-daughter I Quit match at No Mercy. McMahon was accompanied by her mother, the CEO of WWE Linda McMahon, and Sable accompanied Vince in their match. McMahon lost when Linda, at ringside, threw in a towel on her behalf, because Vince would not release a choke he had on her with a lead pipe. As a result of losing the match, McMahon disappeared from WWE television for 2 years. The match was made to write Stephanie out of storylines as she was marrying Paul Triple H Levesque that week. Sporadic appearances, 2005-2007. McMahon returned as a villain once again in October 2005. She, along with her father and, in a surprise twist, her mother fired Raw announcer Jim Ross. A visibly pregnant McMahon also returned on the March 6, 2006 episode of Raw, approaching Shawn Michaels backstage and claiming to have abdominal pains. While Michaels left to get her some water, McMahon pulled out an unmarked substance out of her brassiere and poured it into his bottle of water. This substance caused him to become groggy during his match against Shane later in the night, which he lost as a result. McMahon also appeared at the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony on April 1, 2006 and in a backstage vignette with her immediate family at WrestleMania 22. McMahon returned during a backstage segment in April 2007 at WrestleMania 23, visiting her father before his Battle of the Billionaires match. After her father returned to Raw after faking his own death, McMahon publicly revealed that her father had an illegitimate child, who was among the WWE roster. On the taped edition of Raw that aired September 3, 2007, McMahon, along with her mother Linda and her brother Shane, made several appearances to confront Mr. McMahon about the child, who was later revealed to be Hornswoggle, turning into a fan favorite. On Raw's 15-year anniversary episode, she appeared along with Shane in a segment, also involving her husband Triple H and Hornswoggle, which ended with her kissing her real-life husband Triple H, to humiliate her father on Raw. Raw General Manager, 2008-2009. After the severe injuries sustained by Vince on the June 23, third-hour edition of Raw, Shane appeared requesting for the Raw superstars to stand together during what was a turbulent time. Shane's plea was ignored, and subsequently, for the next 2 weeks, McMahon and Shane urged the superstars to show solidarity. The following week, Shane announced Mike Adamle as their choice to be the new Raw general manager. After Adamle stepped down as general manager, Stephanie soon became in charge of the brand and had altercations with Chris Jericho in the following weeks, which involved her firing him. After her father Vince returned, the family began the feud with Randy Orton, who began the storyline by punting Vince in the head. After a few weeks of feuding, Orton and his alliance, The Legacy, punted Shane in the head and performed an RKO on McMahon. Following the attack, he was chased out of the ring by Triple H, who is her real-life husband. The rivalry between Orton, The Legacy and the McMahons heated up when Orton attacked and kissed Stephanie. Triple H and The Legacy's rivalry continued at WrestleMania 25, where Triple H defended the WWE Championship against Orton. The following month, Orton won the championship at Backlash. After Backlash, McMahon left Raw and took a hiatus from WWE television. Sporadic appearances, 2010-2013. McMahon appeared on the November 1 episode of Raw in a pre-taped segment, where she dreamt that Vince awoke from a coma after his doctor, played by actor and one-time WWE employee Freddie Prinze Jr. informed him that his wife Linda had invested millions in her campaign as she runs for Senate. Vince's heart rate elevated more and more as Prinze informed him on what was wrong with WWE since he went into a coma. After beginning to feel better, Vince realizes that he has a serious case of the runs, in which he gets out of bed and walks to the bathroom, in which he is covered in campaign signs that block his backside. McMahon suddenly wakes up from her dream and asks her husband, Triple H, if Vince was still in a coma, in which Triple H replies, "Yeah, he's in a coma. I'm pretty sure he's brain dead." McMahon responds by saying, "Thank God," and then lays back down. McMahon made an appearance as a guest speaker at the WrestleMania 27 press conference. Several months later, she appeared in a backstage segment at SummerSlam to wish some Punk luck in his match. Upon offering to shake his hand, Punk declined and insulted her. "I would, but I know where that hand's been." The following night on Raw, McMahon appeared backstage with some Punk and threatened him: "In the end, people always get what they deserve." On July 23, 2012, McMahon made an appearance on the 1000th episode of Raw where she confronted and then slapped Paul Heyman to convince him to accept a match between Brock Lesnar and Triple H at SummerSlam. On April 6, 2013, McMahon inducted former on-screen rival Trish Stratus into the WWE Hall of Fame. On June 3, 2013, McMahon made an appearance to reveal her decision not to allow Triple H to compete that night. On the June 17 episode of Raw, McMahon confronted New Divas champion AJ Lee. On the July 8 episode of Raw, McMahon fired Vicky Guerrero from the position of Raw managing supervisor when the WWE Universe voted failed during Guerrero's job evaluation. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?